Hi, I'm Aislinn. I own Aislinn Kate Photography here in Pensacola, Florida. We're hoping to give you some insight to help you plan the best wedding possible in terms of photographs. So, your reception. The bulk of your photos are going to be taken at your reception venue, and rightfully so. Most of my clients spend the most mental energy picking this venue space. There's a few considerations from a photography standpoint that I like my clients to consider, and they're really broken down into two categories. First is choosing where to have your reception, and second, once you've made that decision, how you set up your reception can really affect the photos that you get. So when you walk into a space, you look around, you look at the floor, you look at the columns, the beautiful architectural details, but there's a place that my clients very rarely naturally look, and that's the ceiling. It's kind of shocking how often the ceiling appears in your photographs at a reception. So from a photographer standpoint, I recommend that that's one of the first places you look when you walk in. You can have the most beautiful ballroom in the world, but if the ceiling is painted acoustic tile from 1975, your photos are going to have acoustic tile in the background of them. Another thing to consider when you're looking at venues is the time of day that you're viewing the space versus the time of day of your actual reception. Here in Florida, we have so many gorgeous venues with beautiful views of the water, and they're gorgeous when you walk into them. But you might view that space at 11 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If your reception doesn't take place until 7 o'clock at night, your guests won't be able to appreciate that view. It will just be a dark wall. So if that view is the reason you like a venue, you might consider scheduling your event early enough that your guests can appreciate that and you're happy with the venue and with the photographs that correspond. Finally, when you're looking at spaces for your reception, I encourage my clients to find a space that has what I call organic visual interest. What I mean by that is a space that's naturally interesting and beautiful to look at, as opposed to a space that requires a lot of decor and decoration to be brought in. Often these spaces cost a little bit more on the front end, but in general they can be much more cost effective and less stressful because you don't have to hire additional vendors to bring in draping and decor when the space speaks for itself. We're filming this here at Palafox Wharf in downtown Pensacola, and if you look around, this space needs very little decoration because of the natural historic elements of it. In terms of photographs, selecting the right venue is only half the battle. Sometimes it's more important, once you select a location, to lay it out in such a way that maximizes the photographs that your photographer will be able to get. Cake tables are a great example. It's very tempting when you're setting up a location to put your cake in a corner somewhere. That way guests don't run into it, it doesn't impede the flow of traffic, you have room for your dance floor, and all of these are very valid concerns. However, from a photographer's standpoint, a corner can be very challenging because if a cake is up against two walls in a corner, that's going to be in the background of your pictures as well. If it's possible, it's much more beautiful photographically to have your cake set up in the center of a room as a showpiece that your guests can walk around. This also gives your photographer 360-degree access, which allows us to control the background. If you choose to work with a wedding coordinator, this is the sort of detail that you're hiring them to know, which is another reason why I encourage my clients to do that. Sorry. Was that okay? I'm sorry, I realized, I'm sorry. I don't like that I just said that. I'm sorry. I didn't apologize that time. Hold on, I'm sorry. I know you're focusing right now, I apologize. Sorry, I forgot what I was gonna say.